What's up, everyone? Sean Count Blagrath here today with a track review. I normally wouldn't review a track from this band, and I try not to talk about stuff I don't like on this channel anymore in terms of music. Of course, I'll always talk about things that annoy me, but I always try to avoid this at this point. But I'm always asked for my opinion on this band, and I'm talking about the band Carach Angren and their new song, "Song for the Dead," coming off their brand new album being released by Season of Mist, entitled "Dance and Laugh Amongst the Dead." Now, for my thoughts on Carach Angren, I got into them when Death Came Through a Phantom Ship was first released, and I absolutely love that album, and I love Lamadum. I went back and listened to that. I may have mispronounced that. I'm sure it's going to be some Carach Angren fanboy. They'll feel the need to correct me and then call me a fat fuck, which, that's all good. But it was from that point on, and this has nothing to do with the typical hipster arguments that people will come at me with, which was when they signed to Season of Mist, they had a change in their sound, and it was a change I didn't like. I don't think it's influenced by Season of Mist at all. And here is what my big gripe is with everything from Where the Corpses Sing Forever to this point. Some of the worst mixing I have ever heard other than Flesh God Apocalypse. To me, if I'm going to listen to symphonic black metal, I want to hear black metal in with the symphonic elements. I want to hear riffs. Call me crazy, but I feel like black metal needs to have riffs. And the mixing for their last few records, you can't hear any riffs, and that's the problem with this Song for the Dead. Now, the other gripe I always had with them is the fact that I feel like the lyrics are extremely forced. Not necessarily the kind of bizarre story, especially their last album, which was a real head scratcher to me. And I'm sure this one's going to be just as bizarre, judging by this awful album cover that looks kind of like a cartoon. I mean, forced as in the lyrics were written before there was any music, and he's doing his best to just cram all of the lyrics into the song, even though they don't fit. And with this song, I can say, maybe because it's a slower song, but I'm sure on the faster ones on this album, it's going to sound like a total mess with the lyrics. My biggest gripe with this, once again, is there are no riffs to be heard. Every once in a while I hear a little bit of a lead guitar in the background, but this is all a drum, vocal, and keyboard affair. And I mean, if that's something that you're into, cool. But as I said, call me crazy for wanting riffs in with my black metal. The song itself, I think, is kind of bizarre in the fact that there's no point where it reaches like an apex. There's no peak in the song. It just kind of goes nowhere. It kind of just churns along with that repetitive fucking drum beat and the vocals and the keyboards and Jesus Christ. And it just feels like it's falling flat. And that is where my problem lies with this. It falls flat, and I kind of understand what they're trying to achieve with this song, where it has like almost a opera sort of vibe, a very classical feel. And that's cool and all. But for the love of God, if you're going to be a symphonic black metal band, you're going to do the corpse paint, you're going to make those bizarre meme shirts, which should have never existed to begin with, please, for the love of God, make it so your riffs can be heard. And the thing is on the last album, there was a few cool riffs when you could actually hear them, but it was just buried underneath these keyboards. And that annoys me. And maybe they used a real orchestra for this. I don't fucking know. Regardless, the mixing should have brought the guitars to the forefront and let the orchestrations kind of accent it. I feel like this song could be potentially decent if there was guitar. But I don't hear any, and that's always been my gripe with Carach Angren from Where the Corpses Sing Forever on. If they could go back to the old style mixing and actually have lyrics that feel like were written for the song, I could probably get back into them. And I wish I could get into them again because their records are so easy to find. And if I don't have to order a record online, I can just go to my local record store and pick it up. That's awesome, and I'm all for that. I like the fact that these guys are kind of like a stepping stone into black metal. Because once when people hear other bands, they tend to kind of push the ones they got into back. I have to an extent, but in recent years I fully embraced my Cradle of Filth and Dimmu Borgir roots with absolutely no shame. But this band, I just feel like, is falling flat and kind of becoming a parody of themselves. And I hate to see it happen because Where the Corpses Sing Forever is a goddamn masterpiece of symphonic black metal. It's so good. It just disappoints me to see this. And they just keep putting out more bland material with overbearing keys. And it's not doing it for me. If I'm going to give it a score, it's going to be a 3 out of 10 because I can at least say that the vocals flow. But it's not hard to flow lyrics with a song that monotonous. A song that is just that dull. Make your guitars somewhat audible, and please try to have your songs go somewhere, is the only thing I can say to Carach Angren. But if you dig this, go ahead and pick it up, knock yourself out. I won't be unless they can pull out some miracle for their next single that they put out, which I kind of doubt. But yeah, 3 out of 10. I'm sorry, but that's just how I feel about Carach Angren and this new song. Song for the Dead. Not cutting it for me. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I'll see you in the next video.